Hello, my name is Andy Fadenholz, and today I'm going to talk to you about interviewing during COVID-19. What I can tell you is neurology is still in very high demand. We've seen roughly about 5 to 7% of our clients scale back or put their recruitment on hold for some time. There are some programs that are still evaluating their budgets and their compensation because they faced financial hardships. But I can tell you, all of you will still be able to find a position. It is a very high demand in the field, and there's a lot of opportunities out there that are still very good positions. COVID-19 has changed the way programs are conducting interviews. Prior to COVID, we had maybe 1 or 2 clients that started out the interview process prior to a site visit with a video interview. Now, 99% of our clients are starting out with video interviews prior to bringing in candidates for a site visit. We've seen COVID impact the amount of programs that candidates are able to visit. A lot of states are still under travel restrictions, and it makes things difficult. And there's still a lot of unknowns. When we first started the video interview process, it was new for a lot of hospitals, and there was still a lot of things to iron out. Since March, I think most of the hospitals have a pretty clear process. There are programs out there that are extending offers based on virtual interviews, and there are neurologists that are actually accepting positions prior to visiting the hospital or the community due to travel restrictions. But remember, communication is key. It's always good to over-communicate. If you receive an email asking for times to speak with them or for a video interview, if you don't have your schedule in front of you, just send back a quick message that says you received it and you're going to look into your schedule. There are a lot of times where emails end up in spam, and it's, especially during COVID, important to over-communicate. COVID has also added a lot of extra steps to the interview process. I just spoke with a client recently where they had to get their driver tested. All the stakeholders that they met with had to be tested, including the candidate that was on a site visit. If clients are having enough interest to bring you in during this difficult time, it's important to still over-communicate, but understand the steps that go into this since COVID-19 has started. So here's some great tips for your video interview. Always test your internet connection. Show up early in case you run into any issues with the login information. Be well prepared and have questions ready to ask. Dress like you would for an in-person visit. And find somebody to have a trial run with. We recently had a program that I had an all-day Zoom interview with for a medical director of stroke, and it was one of my first times doing Zoom. And I had asked my colleague that was with me on the call after the first Zoom interview if there was anything that I could have done different. He said, "Andy, you're doing great, but you do rock back and forth in your chair when you're talking, and it's a little distracting." And that's something I would have never noticed personally. And also, remember to send thank you emails or notes. A little thank you does go a long way, even though it's just a Zoom interview. It's very important. I've actually had programs in the past that say they really like candidates, but they never send a thank you note. So you might not think that it goes that far, but it really does. If you have any questions about COVID-19 or the impact it's had on interviewing, please feel free to reach out to me at any time via phone or email.